Hello everyone and welcome once again to my channel. Today is going to be a little bit different because I want to introduce to you a new HDA tool I just created. It's called Simple Molecule, and as the name implies, it allows you to create molecule-like models based on any shape. So here's the case. Usually when you work on medical animation or scientific animations, you are given a specific molecule that you can download, usually from the PDB protein data bank. But there are some times when you are not required a specific molecule, but rather a generic one. So that's when Simple Molecule HDA comes in to help you. So I'm going to show you what's the idea behind it. So let's say that let's look for a specific virus. Let's look for the H1N1, the protein of the virus. Let's check the structure, and as you can see inside the PDB bank, you have all the DNA chains that are part of the H1N1 virus, right? And when you come here to components, let's create the Gaussian surface. So let's select everything and let's create the Gaussian surface, and let's create the component. So here you go. So what the PDB bank created was the surface around the DNA chains inside it, right? Now this is a specific one. This is from a specific virus, but as I said before, this is not always the case. So when you just need to create a generic looking model with the shape of a protein, that's when the Simple Molecule HDA will help you out. So let's see how you can work with it. See you inside Houdini. Let's begin with the installation process. It's very simple. In your HDA folder, you'll find the HDA file. Bear in mind that this HDA was created in a limited commercial license, so you'll need a Houdini limited commercial to be able to use it. Now, to properly install this HDL, all you have to do is to copy the file, Ctrl-Z, then go to your documents, find your Houdini version, your Houdini folder version, look for the OTLS folder. If you don't have one, you can create one, and you paste the file inside it, right? As you can see, I created a previous version, but that one didn't work very well. So the version you have is called DRSCA Simple Molecule 1.2 at the moment of this recording. So okay, once that's sorted out, you can start your Houdini, and let's use the HDA. Now we're inside Houdini, and first things first, let's create a geo container. And now let's look for the HDA. SCA Simple Molecule. Simple Molecule needs to be fed a base shape, so that's the reason that is throwing an error, but let's fix it by adding a sphere at the beginning. So let's look for a sphere. All right, so let's check this out. Now let's check all the properties that you are going to be able to control inside your HDA. The first thing is the random seed. So random seed is very self-explanatory. If you change it, you'll get different results, different distribution of the blobs. Now, point density. Imagine that you are taking, that's exactly the concept behind it, but let's say, imagine that you have this sphere, and what Simple Molecule is doing is creating a point cloud inside the shape. So this point density allows you to add more points inside the shape. So let's crank this up, let's say to 50. As you can see, the more points we add, the smoother the surface is going to look. Let's crank this up a little bit more. And now let's turn this down. Let's put it back to 10, for example. The lower the point density value, the more blobby the model is going to be, right? You see that at this point, the point density is so low that very little blobs are coming together to form a base mesh. So I'll say that it depends on your taste and what you want to achieve with it, but I don't recommend going too low. So let's put this back to the default value. Right. Now there's a minimum scale and a maximum scale. This is going to add a random p-scale value to all the blobs, and you know, it's a range, so there's a minimum scale and a maximum scale. So let's turn this down a little bit to 0.6 so you can see what it does. So as you can see, it's very self-explanatory. Some random blobs got a 0.6 scale, right? And some others are at 1.1, and that creates some variation in the surface. I'm going to increase my point density. All right, I like it. Now there's an add blobs feature that what is going to do, you see that there's some gap, there are some gaps in the surface. So this just adds some additional points on those gaps to fill them in if that's what you want. So for example, it's at 100. Let's put it up to 100. As you can see, it filled the surface a little bit more, and the same happens if you, on the contrary happens, I mean, if you go the other way around. So if I remove blobs, let's say, it breaks apart the surface, right? So I'm going to return this value to the defaults. Now there's a remove stray blobs feature. Well, as you can see, if you come close to the surface, you'll see that there's a main body and there are some stray blobs floating around, and you probably don't want that. So what this little checkbox here does is it takes those stray blobs and just deletes them. So let's check it out. Now as you can see, there are no more stray blobs floating around. Now the next one is a tool called, it's a little checkbox called turn to quads. What this checkbox is going to do is that it's going to calculate all the amount the polys, the amount of polys that the model has, and is going to fuse these triangles to turn them into quads. So let's check it out. There you go. It's up to you if you want to have a triangle mesh or a quad mesh, but you know, you have the option there. So whichever you want to choose is okay. Now the next one, as you can see, the HDA creates a basic UV map, and you have a few controls in case you want to tweak them. So let's decrease the size of this UV map. Right, you can move it however you want. I usually don't mess with this, but I exposed the control, so if you wanna play with it, you're free to do it. Now the next one, the turn animation on option. Well, this is very self-explanatory too. If you check, if you turn this on, this is going to create a very basic noise-based animation. And the controls are very self-explanatory too. If you want to adjust the speed, you can do so. As you can see, if you put it down to 0, nothing happens. But you can increase it however you want. Since this is a noise-based distortion, I exposed the controls for the noise amplitude and the noise size, so you can tweak it however you want. It's up to you. You can see that it can get pretty crazy, but you know, it depends on what you want to do. So just simply revert this to its defaults. It works fine like that. This smooth animation feature here, it's simply in case you find some artifacts in the surface, you increase the smooth animation and it's going to get rid of them. I'm pretty sure this one is going to be really hard with the sphere to get some weird artifacts. So if you ever find an artifact in the surface, you just turn this smooth animation up, and that's gonna help you out with that. And finally, the final control is the add color. So this add color feature is going to add a ramp based on the occlusion, on the model's occlusion, and is going to assign that color to the points. So turn this on, you'll see that it has created this ramp, right? And you can change it however you want. I'm going to use a preset. There you go. And this is how Simple Molecule works. I hope you like it. Let me know if you have any questions, and see you in the next one. Bye.